The severity of ChatGPT's rapid development can only be compared to that of the Alliance Rings from Miraculous Season 5, taking communities by storm. GPT has been put to use across a broad range of applications. Whether you're used to it or not, you will be or are currently being affected by its far-reaching consequences, both good and bad. Hi, I'm Adrien from EmberNexus, and join me as we take a deep dive into the ethical implications behind disruptive technologies, learn about their limitations, study the past, and uncover future consequences. In what ways can we draw similarities between ChatGPT-4 and the Alliance Rings from Miraculous, and how can we apply the lessons taught in fiction to real life? Now, without further ado, let's get right into it. To better understand the limitations that each technology has, we first need to start with their strengths. The Alliance Ring and some of its capabilities it possesses are fictional, but what is very real is the significance it has in the lives of all of those in Paris. Fitness and health tracking, video calling, GPS, shopping, and more are all technologies we have right now. Are we quite at the point where we can each have our own floating holographic rectangles protected just from a ring? No, we're not. But take a look at how far technology has come over the last 2 years. Just months ago, almost no one had ever heard of such a thing like ChatGPT, and yet it's now one of the most powerful general-purpose AIs available. ChatGPT-4 was made available just last week and will be able to process images and demonstrates an understanding of physics. And it is able to take up to 25,000 characters as opposed to just 3,000. Image processing from an AI that has proved itself to be as powerful as it has been up until this point is miraculous, to say the least. Whilst not able to process full videos yet, images are just small freeze frames that make them up, opening the door for a wide range of possibilities. The Alliance Rings show capabilities that genuinely surpass ChatGPT in intelligence and search, perhaps unsurprisingly. At the very least, it displays capabilities of facial recognition with SoClean, and is aware enough to make connections to the grade of education she's in.
SoClean Wong, 135 kilometers covered between 11:02 a.m. and 11:12 a.m. Lives in the Helsinki Tower, 13th arrondissement, 10th grader at Claude Monet High School. Winner of the Grand Prix Gymnastics 3 years in a row.
There's not really a direct comparison for this next example, but the Alliance Rings show incredible wireless technology without the use of satellites, cell towers, or the rest of it, being able to transfer actual magic across hundreds if not thousands of feet in just a matter of seconds at most. So where does this leave us in terms of limitations? Well, GPT-4 and the team behind it at OpenAI have admitted to its shortcomings in general math and creative writing. One major issue that has been identified with ChatGPT-4 is the speed of which it can provide outputs. Trained on a vast dataset of over 300 billion words from various sources, including articles, books, forums, as well as having 175 billion parameters, it is an incredible technological achievement. While the 175 billion parameters are impressive, compared to the 16 trillion parameters of the human brain, GPT-4 is no match in terms of logical reasoning, ethics, morals, and emotions. This clearly highlights the problem of relying solely on AI for decision-making and demonstrates the importance of acknowledging its limitations. Alliance is shown to be immensely useful in a variety of circumstances, along with ChatGPT. From summarizing articles, writing code, to understanding clothing wear, and doing your taxes. But the implications of such technologies are brought into question with what nefarious use cases are these technologies going to be applied to. GPT 3.5 has been known to just make up answers and be confidently incorrect on a multitude of occasions. In reality, its work isn't necessarily the problem, but more why it's doing it. ChatGPT works off predictive text technology, which means it takes its best guess at what word should follow the last using the dataset it's been trained on. This is why it's been so easy for new websites to pop up in recent months detecting whether text has been AI generated. AI falls into recurring patterns that become increasingly easy to spot the more text that's provided. The consequences of allowing such powerful and widely applicable tools to be put into the hands of the public are something that could have been foreseen but were never taken seriously. So far, tech companies have been the ones leading the way in protecting the public, so to speak. Twitter began to apply labels to tweets that it deemed synthetic or deceptively edited forms of media all the way back in 2020 without any pressure from governments, and in my opinion, this should have been mandatory. Other AIs such as Midjourney and even ChatGPT have been responsible for widespoken debate in terms of the ethical questions they pose on creators and artists regarding copyright infringement. Midjourney has recently been put under immense scrutiny for its use of copyrighted works in its training dataset. I personally can't speak 100% on this part, but from the the videos I have seen from artists like Sam Does Art, the issue is more with undermining the value of the work that they do creatively and originally produce over a matter of hours, and they have spent years perfecting. It's a problem that needs to be addressed not just by the development team at Midjourney, but also the wider AI community, artists, and other respective holders, looking at all perspectives. I stand firmly by the stance that in its current state, GPT 3.5 and GPT-4 are tools that should be used to assist the user to enhance productivity, thought, and creativity, not as a machine to produce a final product. ChatGPT should be used as a resource, a reference to guide you through the available routes that you could take, but ultimately, the final decision lands on you. Now, of course, the unintended consequences of the Alliance rings is that Shadow Moth can transfer the powers of almost any Miraculous to anyone wearing one. Well, at least to Parisians. Gabriel was very much aware of the consequences. With ChatGPT, educational institutes have seen a massive uptake in plagiarism from the AI due to its accessibility and ease of use. The International Baccalaureate Diploma Program, more commonly known as the IB, is an organization that offers a diploma to students aged 16 to 19 in the last years of their secondary education. Self-proclaimed to be the global leader in international education, they've recently announced that content generated by ChatGPT can be quoted in submitted essays for reasons involving embracing current technology. As much as a grey areas this opens up as to what can be done with it, one thing is for certain. The IB and I agree on the reason why it should be utilised. Not necessarily in schools, I'm still undecided about that, but as to why I decide to sign up for an account of my own. GPT had the craze and mob mentality behind it, the likes of Pokemon Go and TikTok just to name a couple. And for weeks I refused. There is no possible way that this would benefit me more than the negative impacts it would cause not just to myself, but in how I would assist it in going further to potentially harm anyone else. But what I realised was holding me back was fear. A fear that is still very much present as I continue to use it up until this day. But I've always been so critical of others, usually older generations, for not being up to date with current technology, how to use a phone, understanding that the best way to learn something is to try doing it yourself, or just looking it up. How could you not see how important computers were going to be? And here I was, in the same position as them, scared of change, as they were. So instead of letting the insecurities of maliciousness prevent me from accessing such a wonderful tool, I just signed up. As are the benefits with ChatGPT, there are benefits that come with the Alliance rings, some aforementioned being GPS, health tracking, and others. These are powerful tools with the potential to advance us as individuals and as a society to new heights. The real question is whether or not we believe the benefits outweigh the negatives. As I've touched on previously in part, the lessons of disruptive technology such as the Alliance ring can be applied to real life, and provides us with an alternative universe, if you will, as to what similar technology could result in for us. It fosters thoughts surrounding issues that otherwise wouldn't have been considered. With Alliance, it offers a valuable perspective into how ethical concerns are handled and whether protocols need to be put in place in anticipation of these newly arriving technologies. Instead of hiding behind foolish screens of uncertainty, politicians and lawmakers need to be proactive in addressing the issues at hand when they arise, and come to expect disturbances to the norm we have become so used to. Within Miraculous, the fascinating possibilities and the capabilities of the Alliance rings are ultimately manipulated to entice the populace into giving Gabriel and therefore Monarch more power. Such a direction in the show highlights the necessity of the careful consideration that must be put into regulating how these technologies are used and the potential impacts, both negative and positive, that may arise from it. In this example from Miraculous, technology's potential to give its creators and those in control insidious power becomes abundantly clear. Both ChatGPT and Alliance have created new communities, fostered love for a common concept and product, and has allowed for us to better express ourselves. However, as with all disruptive technologies, they have far-reaching, unexpected consequences. For the people of Paris and Miraculous, little do any of them know that encouraging such a technology actively gives Monarch more power and puts them in more danger, as if Ladybug or Cat Noir were to fall for it, it would be catastrophic.
Flag, claws out!
Catastrophic consequences like these, and those that will crop up in real life, most presumably the replacement of labour in a multitude of industry workplaces, must be addressed quickly by taking the necessary steps to prevent further damages. It's also important to keep in mind that just because OpenAI has honourable intentions now, doesn't mean that they always will. Not that I believe that they'll turn ChatGPT into something malicious, but it's always something to keep in mind. And as mentioned with the likes of TikTok and their appalling terms of service, user security of data and privacy must be a priority. From the get-go, if not prioritized, it sets a dangerous precedent of what is acceptable, especially if it undermines our society's core values. I stand firmly by the fact that ChatGPT is a tool that can be used for immense good for many people working in different situations. I think that's also important to learn from both past experiences we've had in real life and predictive parallel ones in fiction to better assist in how we move forward with technology we don't fully know the prospects of. It is important we seek to break through the limitations of technology to further develop possibilities and to enhance the lives of millions, while ensuring to avoid unnecessary and dangerous consequences by taking a minute to sit and think about the previous lessons we've learnt in our history. I would once again like to thank my generous patrons for supporting my work and for allowing me to continue working on the videos that I want to make. If you'd like to support me, subscribing or even just leaving a like would be greatly appreciated, but a link to Patreon will also be in the description. Until next time, thank you so much for watching until the end. I've been Adrien from EmberNexus, and I'll catch you on the next one.